What's good, YouTube? It's Quintessential Q, your quintessential ain't shit content creator over on YouTube and Twitch. And today, I was going to do maybe like a gauntlet combination guide, what gauntlets to pair with each other. But I was looking in these Spellbreaker streets, and I noticed one thing. I noticed one thing that a lot of people have in common. And that thing is, they're bullied by the big bad Stoneshapers, the big bad bullies themselves, right? The stone people who pull up on you, beat you up, take your lunch money, and then just leave you in the corner crying. You know, sending you back to the main menu to just go through the whole process again. And I'm here to really help y'all out. If you're a Tempest player and you're constantly losing to Stoneshaper players, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. You know what you should be doing. You see your skill levels over there on the right side of the goddamn screen. You have Wind Surge, you have Updraft. You know what you should be doing. Now the only out I'm gonna give y'all is that early game as a Tempest fighting a Stoneshaper just don't work. You don't got enough mana to really keep up the fight, so you gotta get out of there. And really, for a lot of these classes, it's gonna be the same thing. Getting out of their early game is going to be the main thing that you're gonna have to do. And that's just because the Stoneshaper class is it's pretty strong early game. Level 1, they start out with Stone Skin, max armor plus 20. On cast Shockwave, if they're below 20 armor, they get plus 5 armor. Now, what does that mean? That means basically at the start of the games, all Stoneshapers start out with at least a common belt, and the only thing they gotta do to get that level of armor is just punch the ground 4 times. That's it. It doesn't have to hit anything. It doesn't. Like, they don't have to hit a person. They just use their primary fire 4 times, boom, 20 armor. Anytime they drop below 20 armor, boom, they can punch the ground, they get that right back. So it's really hard for a lot of these other classes to deal with such a tanky class, because a lot of them are going to run a build like this. Maybe they have focus mana as their first ability, right? But they're probably going to run scavenging. Some run scavenging, some run fervor. Fervor gives them more casting speed. Scavenging just gives them like health and armor if they kill you. They'll probably run scavenging if it's solos, and fervor if they're in duos or squads, because scavenging is a little bit harder to get off in those like types of situations. And they'll definitely most likely be running recovery. On health damage, regenerate 50% of damage taken. That means if you do get past the armor that they're constantly bringing back up for themselves, when they take damage, they're going to get 50% of the damage you dealt back as health. And that's hard to kill somebody when they're constantly like at a steady rate regenning health, and every time they use primary fire, they're regenning armor as well. So it makes them really tanky, really hard to fight, really annoying to deal with, and it's just all around annoying as fuck to try to fight a Stoneshaper early game. So getting into it, right? Let's hop into the practice, right? You're I was about to say a Tempest, but again, my Tempest players know what the fuck they should be doing. But you're a Pyromancer, you're a Frostborn, you're a Toxicologist, you're a Conduit. You don't have the same luxuries that a Tempest player does, right? Tempest players, they can shoot wind shurikens at their face. I know it's called wind shears. I call them wind shurikens. They can shoot wind shurikens at their feet. They can use tornadoes to lift them up in the air. They have an easy out to Stoneshapers. Everybody else does not, and I feel your pain. Now, if you're everybody else, how do you counter the big bad bullies, which are known as Stone? Well, step 1 is to not do not do this. Do not, and I will repeat one more time, do not sit here on even ground and trade damage with them. As you see, I'm punching the ground to Stoneshaper. I'm getting 5 armor every time I punch the ground, up to 20. Again, that first level ability that they have access to. They have access to this off the gate. And this armor stacks with any belt they get. So if they pick up a common belt gives you 20 armor, right? Well, as a Stoneshaper, I have 40 because I got the 20 from my level 1 ability and I got the 20 from the belt. Same thing with an uncommon belt, a rare belt, even all the way up to a legendary belt. Legendary belt gives you 100 armor. As a Stoneshaper, I have 120. So they're tankier than you most times than not, right? And even some Stoneshapers can fight you. Let's say you picked up a rare belt, right? You got 60 armor. They just have the 20. They haven't found the belt yet. They can still kind of fight you because unlike you, their armor can come back. If they drop below that 20, they can just punch the ground. They're basically getting armor as they fight you. You're not. You're losing armor by staying in the fight, right? Every time they land shots on you. So do not, and I see like a lot of people do this. Like I see people just sitting here on level ground doing this, right? Maybe they jump a little bit, but for the most part, this is all they're doing. And this doesn't work because one, in Spellbreak, your side-to-side strafing isn't even fast. Like, this is easy as fuck to track. Like, there's no, like, quick, like, Call of Duty strafing, right? Like, that's easy as fuck to track. So, it's not really beneficial for you to just side-to-side strafe. You really have to get the elevation in early game. You just can't levitate forever, because eventually you gotta come down. And as a Stoneshaper, I'm gonna predict where you coming down at. Boom, hit you with Shockwave. Now, step 1 to like fighting Stoneshaper is probably picking up a rune that makes the fight more in your favor. The top 3 runes that I recommend fighting for Stoneshapers are Flight, Featherfall, and Spring Step. These 3 right here, conveniently in the middle. Now, honorable mentions go to Dash and kinda sorta Invisibility if they're bad at tracking you while you're invisible, but most like mid to good players can track you even when you're invisible because you leave this like light bluish hue of where you are. So but Dash is kind of good because now Dash gives you that side-to-side strafing that I said was a problem before, right? You're going this way, they're going to try to go, of course, they have to lead their shot. So they're going to try to predict you to continue going this way, go that way, and now, boom, you can go back this way. And now they have to correct themselves, try to hit you again, but now you can kind of jump up and then maybe go back this way. Like you have options. So while Dash is good, Dash kind of requires finesse. Now Featherfall, of course, we know is pretty much a direct counter to the Stoneshaper. Shockwave can't hit aerial opponents. Only thing they can have that can potentially hit an aerial opponent is a boulder. And Featherfall, boom. You pretty much float over their head, can rain down shots. You're well out of a Stoneshaper's optimal range to fight you. Spring Step is a quick little hop, right? It gives you the elevation to avoid Shockwave, gives you quick movement. You can even do this sideways, so it does also can provide that quick sideways movement, similar to Dash. Also, if you're holding Levitate while during the upwards momentum of Spring Step, you carry that momentum with you. You carry the Spring Step momentum with you, and pretty much by the time, if you have like a legendary or epic, by the time you hit the ground, you have your mana back, but more importantly, like you can pretty much like levitate back in the air and you will have Spring Step available. Spring Step is a very annoying rune for like Stoneshapers to deal with if you're constantly using it properly. Finally, flight. Flight is another one that can really get on the Stoneshapers' nerves. Let me just pick up the legendary stone gauntlet here, and also let me level up. Level 2, you just crash down to the ground faster with Stoneshapers. Level 3 is increasing, and of course level 4 you get 2 boulders. Just so y'all know the other skills for Stoneshaper. But flight is a tricky one, right? Because what most people do with flight, especially when the circle closes in, right, is they fly all the way up here, and like maybe they cast their sorcery down there, stall out there, shoot down and shit. Like they do all that, right? Now that's cool and all, but like especially if you're doing this in the final circle, like if you're just flying all the way up here, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna rain my sorcery down, kind of like stall out a little bit, stall out as much time as possible. When I get down here, just kind of jump around so people can't hit me, go back up. Like if you're doing that constantly, especially when the circle gets smaller, as a stone player, once I find out that's what you're doing, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm sending that up there after you. And now you're like, oh, well, that's not really a problem. That can't hit me. Now, the thing is, if they just kind of wait, because eventually you have to come down, right? So if they just kind of wait out this, right? And like once flight runs out and like they know they're gonna like stall, you're gonna stall them out. Once they see you starting to rain down shots, they're gonna send this up here. And if a fireball connects with it, boom, it's a flaming meteor. That's doing damage. That's doing hella damage to you. And it's gonna leave down a like little fire thing if it hits the ground. But that's doing hella damage to you. If you're an ice player and you're just trying to fly up there and shoot ice shots down, and like one of your ice shots connects with the boulder, boom. Now you get hit with an ice boulder that is gonna leave behind this frozen mist that's gonna like freeze you, potentially lining you up for death. And remember, once they hit level 4, they get 2 charges of boulder. So they can just send both of them up there after you. And that's problems. Right? That's an issue. So what I recommend, if you're going to try to use flight to counter a Stoneshaper, fly up a little bit and just cancel it, right? And then shoot down shots. Don't fly all the way up and making yourself like super predictable. You want to be unpredictable with the rune, because if the Stoneshapers really saucy with their stone, they will probably have a wind gauntlet for that like final circle. Boom. And increase the momentum with the wind shurikens, making the boulder go way farther up than it normally can, and it's definitely going to hit you in those smaller circles. So if you're going to use flight to try to finesse it, fly up a little bit and just shoot down shots. You don't need to go all the way up, right? So that's just a little bit of thing with flight. Another thing is using the environment to your advantage. Now, Stoneshapers primarily want to fight you in big open fields like this. They want to fight you. They love this right here. All this in front of me, they love this. This is where they want to fight you. And this is a problem that a lot of people have, is that they will take these engagements with Stoneshapers out in areas where it benefits the Stoneshaper to take the fight. Like if I'm a Stoneshaper and like let's say a conduit or a toxologist or anybody really wants to take this fight out here, I'm a oblige in that fight. 9 times out of 10, unless I'm already hurt, maybe I'm getting third partied or something, 9 times out of 10, I'm taking this fight right here. In any 1v1 situation against another class in this wide open space, I'm gonna take this fight as a Stoneshaper. This is free. Now, where areas where they don't want to fight, right, is an area like this. Here, they don't want this fight. As a Stoneshaper, I don't want to fight here, because look at this. Shockwave can't travel up the walls right here. Even if I have the high ground, it can't travel down. So I don't want this fight here. And this is how you beat Stoneshapers. You gotta be on your Obi-Wan Kenobi shit. You gotta have the high ground. You gotta have the high ground. Keep the high ground on them. And like these sharp like walls and castles and buildings and stuff, just kite them around. You know, you're up here shooting down shots at a Stoneshaper. What's the Stoneshaper gonna do? They're gonna get mad because all Stoneshapers are just super aggressive, like they're hype, like they're really like to push their opponent. So they're gonna jump up here, and maybe they miss like that, but they're gonna jump up here and try to do this. And, you know, sometimes they get a little fancy with it. They jump up here, throw a boulder, and then do that. And okay, when you see them jumping up, what do you do? In that situation, what do you do? Just jump down. Shoot shots up. Because now they're up here. They tried to slam. They missed slam, right? And now they coming back down here to slam back down on you. Like, they're going to be like, oh, all right, they went back down there. And like, try to come back down here and get you. And all you got to do is just go back up here. Shoot shots. They're going to jump down. Maybe you jump up here. Shoot shots. They jump up here. Maybe you jump up here now. And shoot shots. They jump up here. You jump back down here. And just shoot shots. Like, just pester the shit out of them. Because it's going to put them in one of two scenarios. One, they have to now use their offhand gauntlet to fight you, which a lot of Stoneshapers are so reliant on the stone gauntlet that they can't really fight with the other gauntlet. They're not really good with aiming with the other gauntlet because they're so reliant on the stone gauntlet for eliminating most people. That if they have to use like maybe their offhands of wind, or maybe it's lightning or frost, which are the typical three gauntlets they gravitate towards, they might not be as confident in their shots with their offhand gauntlet because they're so reliant on the stone gauntlet for their damage. So you use areas like this to your advantage, because this area, Stoneshapers hate this area. They don't fuck with this. Another semi-good area, even though this has open space, would be an area like this, because you still have the elevation. You still can go up here. They can't shoot shots down there. They can't shoot shots back up to you. Any area with like steep elevation is kind of a problem. Now, don't pick areas like this, because while it has elevation, it's kind of like sloped elevation, right? It's like a slope, so they can shoot shots up that. But like, if it's like too steep, as you can see, like from this angle, it doesn't climb all the way up the hill. But if they go up here now, they can shoot shots down, because it's still kind of sloped. So they can kind of shoot shots down like some of these steeper slopes, because at the end of the day, it's still a slope of some kind. But like the building areas like Castle Bogmore, Fort Halcyon, places like that, they really don't want to take these fights like in here, where you can just kind of go up here or go down here or drop all the way down here. Like, they don't want to take these fights in here. They want to push you out of these areas and maybe towards this area over here. So these are like the primary ways on how to counter Stoneshapers. Because I see a lot of people struggling with fighting Stoneshapers, and it really don't have to be that complicated. Just the things you do: don't sit here and trade damage, use elevation to your advantage, and just back out and disengage in areas where the Stoneshaper has advantage. Like in these big fields, don't even engage with the Stoneshaper in the 1v1, because they're going to win this. 9 times out of 10, they're winning this 1v1 fight. So don't even engage them out here. But it's been real. Again, I'm Quintessential Q, your quintessential ain't shit content creator. I stream every day, 9 p.m. to whenever the fuck I feel like getting off on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/quintessentialq. Link would be in the description below. And also like my Twitter and stuff will be down there as well. Follow me on those just in case, something happens and I can't stream. I usually update people via Twitter and shit like that. Another guide will be up maybe, what's today? Tuesday, so maybe like Thursday. I might do another video, so trying to do like every other day uploads for stuff. So trying to do that. And that'll be it. Catch you on the next one.